and welcome, dear friends. It is so nice to see you. It is another beautiful sunny day in the great Pacific Northwest. And I'm coming to you live from my backyard where I am doing something called a sunflower celebration. And a sunflower celebration is simply, for me, it was that I planted a whole bunch of sunflowers in my yard, over 100, maybe well over 100. And I'm growing them and I'm taking care of them, making sure that they're watered and fertilized and actually sung to and encouraged, so that I can have my own sunflower celebration in August when they bloom. But I'm doing that because it was something fun and exciting that I would really enjoy doing along with a project that I was working on. And at the time, the project did not seem fun or exciting. I couldn't find anything fun about it. I am learning to use social media in my coaching business, and I had managed to get that to a point where I sat at my desk for hours and fretted about what I should say and what I should do until I was so confused and upset that I pretty much hated social media. So my goal was to learn to love social media and to learn to use it. And the ultimate goal is, well, I won't even go into the ultimate goal. I have it written down so I don't lose track of it, but it includes numbers and stuff, and that probably makes that boring for you. Regardless, part of what I've been doing is doing an Instagram live every day for the last 2 weeks. And the end of my 2 weeks will be up on Saturday. And I cannot believe how much easier it has gotten to go live on Instagram since I've been doing this. So it's fun to watch the sunflowers grow, but it is just as fun to see me grow. And that's what this project is all about. You can choose something and jump in at any time and just grow right along with me. I would love to have you join me. So today, what I was thinking about this morning, two things that really aren't related to sunflowers or social media very much. On Thursday mornings, I do a scripture study with other people, other women around the world, with Emily Bell Freeman and Rio, on Inklings, and it's something that I just delight in. I love to be part of other people that are studying and to hear their insights and to listen and to read myself and to think. And one of the things that they were talking about this morning was kind of particularly interesting to me as a life coach. I work with women who are generally from the Latter-day Saint faith, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who have adult children who are questioning or who have left the church. And for moms who have devoted their entire motherhood career, and it may or may not be their only career, but they have taught the best way that they can to have their children choose a different path is sometimes really a difficult thing for them. And they question themselves, they question who they are, if they were doing the right thing, they question their children. Anyway, so as I was listening to today and thinking about our identity, I thought I would share with you just a little bit about what I do in my coaching program. It's called Wholehearted Woman, and I chose that name because I choose a word for the year, and usually that word kind of finds me sometime in the fall, and I know that's going to be the word that I embrace for the year and let it help me grow. And so last fall, as I was thinking about what my word for the year was, wholehearted came to mind, and it came to mind because there's so many parts of your heart. And I started researching all the words that have heart in them, and really kind of the first thing that got me going was thinking about being half-hearted, doing something in a half-hearted way versus doing something wholeheartedly. And I thought about broken hearts and full hearts, and just, every part of that heart, you bring it all together to create the whole heart, the really good strong parts and the weak parts, the hard parts, and they're all part of our heart. And that's why I named it Wholehearted Woman. And we talk about when women come and they're worried about their children leaving the church, they're worried about what they can do to fix their children. They're worried about how they can help their children. They're worried. They're really focused on their children. And a lot of times they try so hard to fix them that they strain that relationship. And so when you come to me in my program, we spend the first, we could even spend the entire, it's a 12-week program. We might even spend the entire 12 weeks talking about you and who you are, what your identity is, knowing yourself, and helping your children is something that I don't think is possible to do until you are totally aligned with yourself, knowing who you are, what's important to you, what you believe, and focusing totally everything on fixing anything, on fixing it within yourself. Because once you start looking, we all have plenty of things that we could work on, especially with our children. Of course, our children could do things differently, but by the time they're adults, we're not in charge of our children anymore. They're in charge of themselves. And so working on ourselves, understanding ourselves, knowing our story, and being able to share our story. I owned a scrapbook store for 15 years, and it was a wonderful opportunity. And the reason I did it is because I wanted women to be able to help share their family stories. And what I found, I believed it then, and I believe it even stronger now, that when we are secure in who we are and our identity and what we stand for and our story, we know ourselves. We know what we want to do. We know what we believe. We know ourselves, but we also, our children are all part of those stories too. That letting them know our stories, there's a lot of stories, especially as my kids have gotten older and I've been a little more frank about some of my stories. There's a lot of stories we do not tell. And so focusing on you, your story, what you need, how you can be the best woman and the best mother that you can possibly be is the focus of my program. And the reason I was thinking about that this morning is we were talking about identity in that scripture study that we were talking about, and how we can help our children know their identity. And we can do that. We can do that by telling our story. So the message for today is share your story. Know who you are and share your story. Okay, that's all I've got today. I will see you tomorrow, and I love you all, and let's talk later. Reach out to me if you have any questions or if I can help you in any way.